And welcome to Drill Down Earnings. We've got the latest look at Micron Technology. It's just reporting third quarter earnings. It's the business story behind one stock on a move. I'm Cory Johnson, the chief market strategist for the Futurum Group. Micron's so important, not just because it's a dominant player in the memory industry, but because it really gives us a forward look as to what's about to happen in semiconductor sales, which, if semiconductors are going to eat the world, it's probably going to start with the chips from Micron. So what do we learn about third quarter earnings? Okay, third quarter earnings were good. Wall Street likes a beat or a miss, and this was a beat, and yet the stock went down. So let's look a little bit deeper, try to really understand what's going on, what the actual business did. So when you look at the actual numbers for this company, they did about $6.3 billion in revenues, well ahead of what the expectations had been, and even better than their guidance. And even furthermore, the growth rate is fantastic. Revenue growth is back for this company, well above 70% in the quarter, and a very profitable quarter for them for a change for this business. They're recovering operating margins, finally making money again. This is a really cyclical business, the most cyclical business certainly in semiconductors. And when you think about the dollar amounts we're talking about here, one of the most cyclical industries in the entire world, and you certainly see that. But the thing that persists in Micron's earnings is that DRAM dominates. It was 69% of sales in the quarter. Their NAND flash business, their tiny NOR business, important, but nowhere near as important. This is a DRAM queen. And the rise in sales in DRAM in this quarter and last really is what's propelling this company forward. When you look back over many years at the three businesses here, it's really about DRAM. Now, within the world of DRAM, what's so exciting for Micron right now is high bandwidth memory, HBM. High bandwidth memory, HBM is needed to make NVIDIA scale properly. Hyperscalers, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta, all scooping up this high bandwidth memory, and Oracle and Tesla as well as they build out data centers. Micron is sold out for the rest of the year. That's what they said in the last quarter. So the real success of high bandwidth memory in this quarter, when they just started selling it, they have sold over $100 million worth, which is fantastic. And they said the margins were even better than the rest of their DRAM business, which were positive. But they expect to generate several hundred millions of dollars in DRAM revenue in the remainder of 2024 and multiple billions in revenue from high bandwidth memory in 2025. And that's why you see the margins getting better and probably going to get a lot better. In addition to that, we know that their chips, their DRAM chips used in AI PCs, those use 15% more chips or so, Micron DRAM, than the old PCs did. Old PCs were already using more of Micron chips. So when DRAM is happy, Micron is ecstatic. Because these AI PCs, they said in this quarter, they said the replacement cycle is starting at the end of this calendar year, and that's going to increase into 2025 as new AI applications are rolled out. And so as a result, they didn't say that revenues were going to increase materially, but boy, they sure hinted at it. They said, for example, that CapEx, capital expenditures, was going to increase materially in the next year up to 30% of revenues. So I went back and plotted this out for you to take a look at. And we look at their CapEx spending, all in the red, because of course it's spending, it already was about 30%. So if they say that it's going to be up materially, but still be at 30%, well, that suggests that the revenues are going to be up materially as well. They'll be spending more dollars, but as a percentage of revenues, it might stay the same. So how did the stock react when the numbers came out? Well, the stock sold off initially quite a bit, about 10%, about 5% after people got a chance to digest these numbers a little bit. But that only puts us back to where we were with the stock a week ago, because it was already up 110% in the last year. Again, this is all about cyclicality for this company. And they really think that they're in a really strong place right now. During the conference call, we heard from Sanjay Mehrotra, the CEO, and he talked about where they are sitting right now with this high bandwidth memory business. And they really think that high bandwidth memory, they're going to get to a place where they are already with DRAM. Here's what he had to say.
We are pleased that with the strong performance that we have, we are sold out for 25 as well, with overwhelming part of our output already committed in terms of pricing. So that points to a strong position that we have in terms of continuing to work toward achieving our goal of getting to our HBM market share to be in line with DRAM share sometime in 2025.
So if they're about 20-25% of the market in DRAM, they think they're going to be there with more profitable high bandwidth memory and a bigger market in the coming years. It's got to be good news for Micron. All All right, what's it all mean? The big drill down earnings takeaway. I'm going to give you one number that tells you a whole lot right after this.
The drill down is brought to you by Futurum Group, where analysts, researchers, advisors, content creators, and marketing experts help business leaders anticipate and understand shifts in their industries and build strategies to leverage disruptive innovation. With deep analysis, Futurum Group's extensive industry experience delivers reliable research and data, thought leadership, and actionable advice to help you with your strategy and go-to-market efforts. Futurum Group.
So here's all you need to know, what you really want to remember about Micron Technology's third quarter earnings. Fantastic quarter from the company, $6.3 billion in revenues, and revenue growth up well above 70%. Just fantastic turnaround for this business. The worm has turned, revenue growth is back, and the thing I really want to point out is what's going on with their DRAM business. So Micron's DRAM business grew up at 76% on a year-over-year number. That's the one number that tells you a whole lot. And indeed, the rate of improvement at 43%. So again, the rate, the second derivative of that, the rate of improvement at 43% in double digits, just fantastic news for Micron. All right, thanks for listening to Drill Down Earnings. I'm Cory Johnson. Check me out at Cory TV on X, on Instagram and TikTok, Drill Down Pod, and of course, Futurum Group's YouTube page. Leave some comments, tell us what you think. Drill Down Earnings, part of 6.5 Media.